What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with the overall market, break down something very important that Donald Trump said that caused the market to dip, what you should be watching for as time goes on. Just know that I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit to $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total. And the offer is very soon at the end of March. Anyways, as far as the market's going, okay, looking at the way NIO is moving, you guys can see that this thing is very, very flat. That's despite the fact that the whole market sold off. The whole market turned red. We were pumping in the beginning. We saw Tesla pump to 380. SPY was at 608 a share. Not to mention the QQQ is also pumping very, very nicely to about 532. And then the market got a huge rug pull after Donald Trump announced something very important. Despite that, NIO was still very flat. So why did the market get this rug pull? Let's talk about how this is going to go on. NIO was talking about their ET5, and I didn't really see any other pieces of news. We had about 37 million in volume, and nothing else that's too significant from there. For next week, we have earnings. This is what the earnings calendar looks like, more minor earnings. And keep in mind, we're going to be looking for CPI next Wednesday. And that's pretty much it. We have CPI, then PPI, and then some imports and exports data. So get ready for all of that. There's going to be some more volatility coming. But going back to what I talked about in my previous videos, we have these lists over here about the tariffs. Donald Trump announced that we're going to see 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Then they got delayed by about 1 month up until like March. And then we have 10% tariffs on China, which caused China to, retaliate and increase tariffs on American goods. Now, Donald Trump has announced that there's even more tariffs to come, and he's going to be making some big announcements next week. As I mentioned, that for the short term, these tariffs are going to be negative for the US's GDP. They're going to cause higher inflation, higher prices here and there. And then other countries may start to retaliate, increasing tariffs back on the US, causing prices to go up even more. And it's going to hurt American businesses. As a result, Trump has made it very clear that he thinks that this is going to be for fairness and to help the US government gain more revenue. And I also mentioned that this could be used as a negotiation tactic. So, for example, with Canada and Mexico, he threatened higher tariffs unless they agreed to do some things. They agreed to do these things, such as increasing border security on both ends, putting more troops at these borders. And then the tariffs got delayed for Mexico and Canada. So that's how Trump negotiated. But we're going to see if he's going to continue to this next week with these other countries or not. But let's break down what's going on. So Donald Trump, Elon Musk, many of them have already said that there's going to be short-term disruptions in the U.S. economy and the global economy because of these tariffs. Excuse me. But the thing about them is that Trump claims that it's worth it. Elon Musk says the same thing. I think that's debatable. We'll see if it's worth it or not. But I want to be very unbiased when I say that. We depend a lot on many countries such as like Canada, Mexico, and China for exports and imports, mainly for trade, at least that comes through them. And now there's other countries that are going to get involved in all of this as well. So Donald Trump came out today and he basically said that he's going to be, increasing tariffs again throughout the different markets out there. This could be affecting other countries such as Japan, Malaysia, India, the European Union. And then also, I think he mentioned that this could be affecting like Thailand, Taiwan, Vietnam, and many other countries. And he thinks that's going to be very important for us to kind of like look into this. So that's very important. These countries could all be involved. So those are what projections are suggesting. More and more Asian countries could get involved as well. Donald Trump said that next week he's going to be announcing these tariffs. Whenever he makes that announcement, expect a lot of volatility. Others out there, such as the Japanese prime minister, didn't really want to say, they basically said they do not want any more, any less. And then Donald Trump had obviously previously threatened to impose a flat 10 or 20% universal tariff when asked about this. And he said that, this could be looking for a review very soon. But he's been going on about increasing tariffs on more countries, especially on the EU. This is leading to lots of disruptions and lots of prices for like wines and things just like that. It's affecting supply chains already. And finally, Donald Trump did pause some tariffs on small packages from China. So for those out there, the D mini me's out there is what they're kind of like talking about for packages that are typically valued at under $800. They're gonna increase. They're gonna decrease the tariffs at least temporarily for those. That's gonna be more positive for some businesses, especially as the U.S. trades for now. But things could change as time goes on. So all this tariff talk has led to some fears. If Japan gets higher tariffs, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, India, these countries are going to be affecting the U.S. Prices will go up temporarily. With increases in prices, disruptions to our GDP, obviously it's not the best for the markets. SPY SPY got very close to my target of 609 to 610, and we had this wedge we were talking about. We finally got a breakout of it, and then that was our sign that this is turning down. If SPY can't reclaim 602 next week, this will likely continue to dip closer to about the 595 area. But this might attempt some kind of like rebound like this before it starts dipping. It's still looking a little bearish now after this news, and we'll see what Trump announces. So we're still kind of waiting for that. His announcements could be very big. For the QQQ, same thing, okay? We might see a rebound before it continues to dip. If we can't get back and hold above 523, even if we get a small bounce and then we start dipping, if we don't maintain above 523, there's going to be a risk of us dipping to like 517. For the IWM Russell 2000, we're going to be looking for resistance around this 228 area. It is possible we push for this and then we reject and we could be dipping back down to 223. So keep that in mind. For ES, we have support at 60.43. Might bounce a little bit, but then if it loses this, we're going to be at risk of dipping to about 6,000 flat. So please keep that in mind. For NQ, we have support at 21,550. There's a rising wedge right here. Got a breakdown from this. If we don't hold 21,550, might rebound a bit and retest this blue trend line before it rejects. And if we don't hold that support, I think we easily dip back down to about the 21,350 area. For Bitcoin, it is looking bearish. We rejected again. We're still above this trend line. We'll have to see if this holds or not, but it technically is on a bit of a downtrend. Could be dipping closer to 95,000 very soon. Nvda remains very resilient unless Trump starts announcing like increases to tariffs on like Taiwan and different areas that could still affect this. But overall, it's holding up quite well. We have not lost 125 yet to turn down. It could dip to retest 127, but so far, as long as it's above the 50 EMA, it's technically bullish. So it's very resilient. It's doing a good job so far. We'll have to see how things end up going. Tesla, however, got a big rug pull after this fear about the tariffs coming back up, not to mention the fact that their Chinese sales have been dipping. So we got some bad news with the tariffs. This is also affecting Tesla in a lot of ways. Tesla did not like this news, and we lost 360, which is not a good sign. Now we're going to likely be going to the 350s. I'm looking for these gaps now, just like one at 345, there's support at 352-ish. We might start to dip all the way down to these lower liquidity zones now because of the fact that this news came out. Tesla was trying to bounce, like I was saying yesterday, was trying to, hitting 380, but the bad news caused Tesla to reject really hard. Unfortunately, it's back to being more bearish. For Aapl rejected as well. The tariffs, especially as they depend on China and other countries, is not the best of news. We're going to be looking for 226 to be tested on Monday. If it doesn't hold, we're looking for that imbalance at 222. For a few more, we have AMD. This is currently at 107. It's trying to base. We'll have to see if that holds or not. If not, we're going to be dipping to the lower 100s. For coin, we're making lower highs. We'll have to see if we reclaim 282. If not, we could be dipping to about the low 270s. For Amazon is not looking that great. It's got a big rejection. They're very dependent on China and other countries. So we'll see what the tariff announcements give us, but this could dip a little bit more unless we get back above 232, which I think we're going to bounce a little bit before it starts to dip. But there's going to be a risk of us returning to about 224 if we can't hold above 230. Might pop in the beginning, but if it doesn't hold, we could be looking for a move back down. Now, Meta looks bullish. It's holding above its key supports, but it might retest 704. We'll see if we bounce off that or not. Microsoft is going to be retesting 408. If it doesn't hold us, we could be dipping to about 405. And Google has lost 189, which is not a good sign. So if this low breaks here and we can't get back above it, we're looking for a retest of previous resistance becoming support now on Google down here around this 183 area. So I want to see if it could get back above 189. If it can't, we're going down to 183. With that being said, with the market dipping a bit, we'll see what Trump says about Chinese tariffs, if that affects us and how this moves forward. NIO might be trying to bounce for 4.28 on Monday, and then we'll see if we get a rejection or not. I'm going to be a little bit careful with this because of these tariff news. We're range bound right now, so give this some time to develop. But with that being said, guys, I thank you all so much for listening. Have a good day, guys. Please be very, very patient with this, and we'll see what Trump announces next week. As of right now, the market looks like it might dip more, but look for a rebound first. If we make a lower high, then yes, the dip will likely continue like that. So just keep that in mind and be very, very patient. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you for listening, and peace out.